Well, you talked in your speech a lot about culture today, right? And we're in agriculture, haha. But we have a great culture here at the Farm Forum event. It's an energetic culture. But talk a little bit about the early days of WestJet and how you've managed to hold on to that entrepreneurial culture and that fun.
Well, it was the most fun time in my life was in the creation and the setup and the running of WestJet as it grew from a fledgling startup to a real, a significant player in Canada, and keeping the culture alive and keeping it what it was when we started was a real goal, and we worked very hard at that. And I remember people saying, boy, as you grow, it's going to get harder and harder, and when you get big, you're going to lose all this. So I finally came up with a poster that said, we'll always be a small company, we'll just have lots of people working here.
How many now?
I think there's 8,700.
8,700. How big of a company now? How many billions?
It'll do well over $3 billion this year in revenue, and I don't know what the market cap is, but the stock was around $19 last time I checked. And it came out at $10 a share. It split 3 times, so if you adjust for the splits, it's about $64 a share. So it's been a good financial success story, and as well as. But it's funny. We never set out to make money. We just set out to create a great organization, and making money was a nice byproduct.
You sure have done that. One of the things that you spoke of in your speech that resonated with me was the whole idea of not to have policies.
Yes.
You have something else. I want you to describe that.
What's that?
Promises.
Oh, promises. We have promises, yeah. So the term promise is much friendlier than the term policy, and I often relate to companies that I've gone to do business with, and you walk up to the counter and you say, this happened with your product or service, can you fix it for me? And the policy wall goes up and they say, no, sorry, can't help you with that, that's our policy. And I never wanted to hear that at WestJet. I remember once I saw, in the early days, there was a sign on the counter at the Kelowna airport that said, here's all the things we won't do for you when we lose or tear or damage your bag. And I thought, boy, that's really setting, this is our policy about, so I ripped the thing off the counter and said, we're going to fix the bags for the people no matter what happened to them, even if it wasn't on our flight, because that's that 2 or 3% that you don't care about that tries to take advantage of you. So the whole idea behind a promise was to change the way it's perceived so that it could mean the same thing, but it has a totally different connotation when you change the label you put on it.
Today's farmers, many of these operations have multiple employees in the operation. They're running $500,000 pieces of equipment, and you talked in your speech about empowerment, and just maybe share with us a little bit of thoughts about empowerment through the people at WestJet and what that might mean for farmers as they are starting to manage teams of people.
Well, it's the managing teams of people. I think the empowerment only happens when you create an environment of trust. And creating that environment and perpetuating that environment is critically important before you can empower. Along with empowerment goes accountability, but we never really had to talk about accountability because it was inferred. Because once you'd earned in trust and you'd really connected with the people, empowerment was a logical next step. So I think the important preamble or the important preface to empowerment is building a relationship and building trust. And once you have that, then you have family, and then you can empower, because accountability comes without saying.
Let's take that a little bit deeper. So trust comes from trust comes accountability. And how do you get to that trust level? It's through vision, it's through passion, it's through transparency, right?
It is, yes. There's no replacement in great communication, and people can hide behind things for a while, but like when we interview to get great people, it might take 4 interviews, and you can fake 1 or 2 or 3 interviews, but you can seldom fake all 4. And when you get to know the person and you get to know what they really stand for and what they believe in, you build relationship. And when you build relationship, along comes a lot of other things. It's like when you first meet somebody, you don't know who they are, what they stand for. As you get to know them, you start to build trust. And once you get to that trust part, the accountability and empowerment is just a logical next step.
To wind this up, there's decals, or if you're from the States, decals on the side of the plane says WestJet Cares. Can you just tell me what that means?
Well, we put that on there to remind our people that CARE is the tagline we put to best describe our values. It stands for creating a remarkable experience, and we wanted to remind our folks every time they got on an airplane to create a remarkable experience for our guests and for our fellow employees. It was just a nice way to put it. CARE is the one word that best describes our values.